What's up, guys? So today I am covering how to get on the dark web and why, right? So we've all heard of the deep web, the dark web, whatever you want to call it. You're looking at it. We're on it right here. This is the dark web. So for those of you that aren't familiar with what the dark web is, all it is, and some statistics claim that it makes up the majority of the actual internet. I obviously can't tell you that or not tell you that, basically because the internet's too large for me to judge myself. But basically, the dark web is what's not going to be covered by Google, Yahoo, that type of stuff. It's things that you cannot route to virtually with a regular browser. So what happened was, way back when, the government actually created the dark web on accident. They created the Onion browser, but either way, basically they were doing a project. It's a pretty neat concept, and we're going to cover it. But basically, long story short, they went through the dark web. Basically, you can't find it on Google. You can't find it on Yahoo.com. And when I say you can't find it, what I mean is if you try and search for this website, it's not going to pop up on there. That's all I mean by that. And the reason it's not going to pop up is simply because there's no information that Google will provide. So it's not that Google can't see it, it's Google will purposely leave them out. Okay, and it's the same as Yahoo and things like that. There's very few actual search engines on the dark web, and that's kind of the purpose. So what is the dark web? All it is a system of networks. Okay, it's very similar to the internet that you use every day. The only difference is that you can actually search, obviously, these domains. They're not registered the same way that a regular domain is registered. So, for instance, if you rented a GoDaddy.com website, you would go to GoDaddy.com/stuffy or whatever it is, right? Those are domains that are registered. They're bought by somebody. These ones here are not technically registered by those people, and that's why you notice instead of .com, they have a .onion after them. Okay, so now how does it work, right? So the way it works, and the reason people use the dark web, is because it is anonymous. Now, I will tell you to take that with a grain of salt because it has been publicly known that the NSA can we'll say spy on the dark web, right? The NSA can see what you're doing if they are the end or the starting node. Now, what does that mean? What I'm going to explain. So the way the dark web works, you have the first node, okay? So when you connect to it, you automatically become a node. So what that means is whenever you go to connect to a website, and you'll see here as we traverse them, it's going to take a little bit longer to use. You're going to notice it takes longer than a regular internet browser. And the reason for that is as soon as you click on the internet, if you know how packets work, a packet will have a destination IP. Well, it's going to go to the next node. Okay, it uses 3 nodes, so it's going to go to the next node, which is just another user, and it's going to go to their computer and use them as a proxy. So it's going to use them. When you go to that one, the only thing they can see is the next destination in the series and where it came from. That's the only 2 things they can see. So if they're the first one, they can only see the second person's IP address and then where it came from, so yours. And then the second one can only see the first one's IP address and the third. And so the point of this is, so by the time it gets to the destination, which is this website, right? It's already gone through 3 other people, 3 other proxies, and it does not know who the originating destination is. So the website can't track who originally clicked on it, okay? Because it only sees the person it came from last. So then when it sends it back, it does the same thing in reverse, and so on and so forth. Now, the point of that is when you connect, you automatically become a node. So people are now using you to go to route through things and using you as a proxy. Now, you don't have to do that. Sometimes you can have it set up to where it's doing it all the time for you if you have Tor running, things like that. But people will set up nodes on purpose to help the dark web keep running. Now, here's where the NSA gets involved. The NSA runs nodes themselves purposefully all over the dark web so they can see what's going on. They can manage it. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, because anything illegal you do, while you think it may be anonymous, and theoretically it is, let's say they're the first node that you connect to, right? Well, they're getting your IP address because they're the first one you're connecting to. So now, how do we actually use it, right? So here you can see I have it installed. So you just go to torproject.org and I'll have that link down below. You can see here, if I go to LS, you can see I have it right here, the Tor browser ENUS. Now, this one here is just the actual zip file that downloaded it. And you can see if I go ahead and I run the Tor browser, or actually, I'm sorry, you got to go into it, cd Tor. And if I hit LS, you can see I have the Start Tor browser desktop. So what that's going to do is that's going to start up these configurations in the browser directory. Okay, super simple to install. As long as you have these two, these come from the download. As long as you have them both in the same directory, it'll find it and it'll pull it up. When you open it, you get your regular Tor browser, which is this. And you can see here's the site that you download it, torproject.org. Okay, so now here's the problem. This is what you're going to get when you log in right here. It's just going to look like this. Okay. Now, you might get a page that has like a DuckDuckGo page. So DuckDuckGo, you can see search with DuckDuckGo. So I can click on DuckDuckGo and I can actually use this to search. And you can see how long it's taking, right? It's taking a little while. Now, this is going to search the regular web as well. But if you see, if I say, for instance, one of the big known wikis is the Hidden Wiki. And what this does, the Hidden Wiki in Tor is this, and we're going to cover it here. Now you can see here the difference between the DuckDuckGo. If you went to Google right now and typed Hidden Wiki, you might get some information on it, and you might get this one, the hiddenwiki.org, because it's a .org.com. Those are going to be found by Google, but the ones that have these onion, those are not going to be found by Google because they are .onion websites. Okay, they are hidden websites, if you will. They're on the deep web. Okay, now, why is everyone scared of the dark web? Okay, and I'll show you why. So this is just the wiki. This is just showing you, it's just a way to kind of see some sites that are possible. Most of the time, I would not go to a site unless someone recommended it to you or you know for sure it's reliable. The reason I say that is because a lot of these sites know that whoever's connecting to them is probably doing something they maybe shouldn't. So they're not afraid of getting in trouble. They'll put spyware, malware on your system. They'll scam you out of money. They don't care. They'll have some very uncomfortable stuff on here. I'm not going to go into details about what's on here, but trust me, it's uncomfortable. You can see here like whistleblowing. So that's can be true, can not. You know, there's so much stuff on here that on the dark web in general that is not appropriate and should not be found. In regular use, I should say. So you can see here, let's just look at something. Let's go to, so for instance, I have never used drugs in my life, but you could buy drugs on here. That's illegal. It's a problem, right? So you see the issues. We can go to editor's picks. I don't really know what okay, I guess that was the very first one. So pick a random page from the article index and replace one of these slots with it. Okay. So these are just kind of how-to guides. Okay. Financial services, and you can see that there's some legit ones here probably, but some of these are probably not real financial services, meaning you may give them money or something thinking you got this great opportunity they might give you, or anonymous Bitcoin wallet, for instance. Do I trust it? No. Could it be real? It could be 100% legit. I don't know. And I'm not going to do the due diligence to find out because I'm just not interested in it. Guns on the dark market. Yes, you can buy guns on the dark market. This is all illegal stuff, guys. So keep that in mind. Most people, fake driver's license right there. This type of stuff is super illegal, and I don't recommend it for anybody because let's say I click on one of these and it's not real. Okay, number one, I can get scammed, obviously. Number two, I could get malware installed on my device because that's what they're trying to do. So in my opinion, there's only a couple ways I would connect to the dark web. Number one, you have to use Tor, the browser. That browser automatically does the 3-jump proxy that I was talking about. So that helps you with anonymity. Number two, I would only do it once I'm connected to a VPN of my own choosing, right? So that I know I'm safe. And number three, I would only do it in a VM, in a virtual machine that I don't care about. Okay, because if it does get malware, I'm getting rid of that VM. I'm deleting the whole thing instantly. I'm not risking any escapes, okay? So with the dark web, I'm going to tell you guys, be very careful because it is a dangerous, dangerous thing. But there is some good things on there. There is some news sources that claim to be non-biased. There's things like that. There is services that you can like for instance, this one, hire a hacker. Do I really believe that they're legit? Probably not that one. You know, I would do my research before I hired someone. But if I needed a hacker for a legit reason, right, I could find them here. Most hackers on the dark web are not legit reasons, so I wouldn't use that. But I'm just saying there are services out there that you may need. There is good information on the dark web that some companies try to keep off the regular web, but there's a lot more harm than good on the dark web in my opinion. But if you're going to get on it, I would rather you know how to do it safely than get yourself screwed up by accident, okay? And that's why I'm making the video. Not because I want you all to go out on the dark web and do something bad. I actually am not responsible for what you do, and I don't recommend you doing anything or even getting on the dark web if you're not familiar with it and don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing and you are comfortable, I would rather you understand how it works and understand how to safely do it. So I don't want you Googling something and clicking on something and getting screwed up. You can go to the Onion, theonionproject.org, and you can download Tor, which is the browser. This is on Linux. You can download it on Windows, and it's going to do, the same thing. And then here, this is the hidden wiki. This is what I recommend going to if you're going to look for something because these are updated fairly often. But I would still take everything I say with a grain of salt in the sense that these are still scary things to click on. And you can very quickly find yourself in something you didn't want to get into. And yeah, I don't recommend it. But just for the video, guys, I wanted to show you guys what the dark web is, explain it. If you want to learn about the history of the dark web and stuff like that, you can look it up. It was created by the military, MIT, things like that were all involved. And basically it was just a project for an anonymous web browser kind of thing and got out of hand, I guess, if you will. But now, yeah, it's now called, you'll hear it called the Onion, you'll hear it called Onion Browser, that type of stuff. And the reason is because they're .onion websites instead of .com, .org, .mil, those type of things. So hopefully this helped you guys. Hopefully you guys stay safe out there on the dark web and be careful. Just understand you're never safe on there and understand what you're doing. There's a reason I'm purposely staying on this wiki page and I'm not going to start clicking stuff until I do research on it. So hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and hopefully you guys learned something. So thanks again, guys. Have a good one.